Welcome to Manifest Anything You Can Imagine podcast, the podcast that empowers you to turn your dreams into reality using the law of attraction. I'm your host, Papi DiNuzzo, and together we'll dive into the mindset, strategies, and energy shifts you need to create the life you've always envisioned. Whether it's health, wealth, happiness, love, relationships, or spirituality, inspired by my transformative book, Manifest Anything You Can Imagine, each episode brings you practical tools, inspiring stories, and bold insights to unlock your limitless potential. Get ready to manifest your greatness, and let's dive in.
Give a fish, teach to fish, delivering hope. A Paying It Forward self-improvement and personal development charitable community outreach initiative. Founded, supported, and funded by DiNuzzo Private Wealth, Inc. Thank you for joining us today. I believe more than ever, we need to hear messages of positivity and hope. And who better to do that than Papi? Papi wants to spread his positive message to all of his fellow brothers and sisters. He's spoken to groups in Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Kenya, Tampa. He's even making inroads into the Philippines. So if you're looking for an inspirational speaker, no matter where you are, please book Papi to speak to your organization or book him to speak for free to your nonprofit group that would love to hear his message of hope, inspiration, abundance, and peace of mind. Every time we get together, Papi has good news to share with us, and we all want to hear that. And I always look forward to hearing what he has to share. So let's go now to Papi to set the table for us. Good morning, Papi. How are you?
Hey, Mikey, thank you so much. Yeah, we love good news. Yeah, as I always love to say, we love happy around here. So, we love happy around here. So thank you so much. First, I say namaste. The spirit in me greets the spirit in you to all of our listeners today. I thank you so much for tuning in and for all the wonderful positive feedback we receive from everyone. And as Mikey said, we continue to expand our footprint. Anytime that I talk on any show or anytime you hear me talk, when I refer to anything along the lines of source power, source energy, universal subconscious mind, you know what that is in your heart of hearts. So you just plug in what you know in your heart of hearts to be the creator of all. That relates to everyone. As Mikey said, we're talking to folks on almost every continent across the globe, and there are a lot of different belief systems out there. And my objective, my message is to reach as many of my fellow brothers and sisters as possible. So I keep everything as high as possible and as neutral as possible. I just thank goodness with the way, Mikey, we start off every day. I'm so happy and grateful now. Today is a magnificent day. I am so happy and grateful now that I've been given heaven on earth today. And I'm so happy and grateful now that I've created my masterpiece today. So as soon as I wake up in the morning, before I even get out of bed, I'm thanking the universe. I'm manifesting my goals every day. I'm feeling my way into my day. And I'm giving thanks and gratitude. I'm in appreciation that I have already created a masterpiece with all of my most important tasks for the day, whether that's 3, 4, 5, or 6, whatever my most important tasks for the day are. I'm already internalizing that and bringing full energy and success to that as if I've got an A+ on everything. And I'm living in that success as soon as I wake up in the morning for all my most important tasks of the day. Again, Mike, I am so happy and grateful now. The universal intelligence, universal subconscious mind, universal light, source power, and source energy created a perfect and infinite universe of universes, all operating under perfect and infinite universal laws. And thank goodness for these universal laws, Mikey. It's very well laid out. Once you learn this language, once you understand the math, once you know what the game that you're playing, and you get on this frequency, you can manifest anything that you can imagine. You have a perfect spirit, perfect spiritual DNA inside of you, and that's perfection that you came here with. And I think of it, Mikey, I was thinking this morning, it's one of those, and I've never done this, but when you see on the Olympics, they come down that ski slope and they do the real long jump. They go on that really long slope in the Olympics, and then they go up and they're in the air. And I just think of that. I'm trying to relate that to our listeners. That's where your perfect spiritual spark is every day. You're in that full liftoff mode, except for you're like a bird. You never come down. You just keep on that trajectory. So that's your natural high vibration that you're in. When the law of attraction, Mikey, like attracts like, you're putting out this pure vibration from your perfect spiritual spark every day. And it's up to us, Mikey, to align our human self vibration, with that perfect spiritual vibration that comes out of us. And once we align with it, once we get on that same frequency, as Albert Einstein said, this is not philosophy, this is physics. So this is about where spirituality meets science. I've been talking with Mr. Billy Carson, and maybe some folks who are listening to our show and striking up a relationship with Billy, and potentially work with him on some items, getting on his podcast, but I can see some things into the future, basically where spirituality meets science. And this universe is the most structured scientific project you could ever imagine. There's nothing left to guess. It's operating under perfect universal laws. And when you understand these laws and get in this frequency, we are living in a fractal holographic universe. So when you understand how the gifts that you came here with and how to utilize those and turn it on like a light switch, you can literally manifest anything you can imagine. I remind everyone, Mikey, there's sort of been a genesis, or a genealogy rather, going back to Andrew Carnegie, and especially the meetings he had with Napoleon Hill in Think and Grow Rich. I say, manifest anything you can imagine. My book is the new modern version of Think and Grow Rich. I can teach off of this. I know that it works. I've cracked the code, reverse engineered it, however you want to phrase it. And I'm here to share this winning recipe with every one of my fellow brothers and sisters. So I recommend read at least a page per day, listen to at least a page per day. I know a lot of our fellow brothers and sisters, Mikey, have a lot of success with the audio books on Audible, etc. And I do that very often myself. I listen to me in my own voice on Audible, reading the book, and I'll do it in the morning. Maybe I'll start at chapter 17 sometimes. I listen to the summaries, the secret, and the additional summary. I listen to it from start to finish. But when you're on a high vibration, what the universe says, Mike, even there's some affirmations out there. I'm going to be taping some before the end of the year. And the universe says, even if you can find something that you like, that takes your mind off of something that lowers your vibration. So one thing we have, Mikey, we talk a lot about is our conscious mind. Again, only 5% of what you accomplish is accomplished in your conscious mind. Dolores Cannon called our conscious mind Mr. Stupid. I refer to it as where our stinking thinking comes through. So when we're using our conscious mind, we're not in our subconscious mind, whereas all knowledge and all power of all time resides. So I would ask our listeners, Mikey, would you like to be in a zone and in your inner power, your creative power, where you have access to all knowledge and all power of all time? Or would you rather be up in your conscious mind trying to figure this out from your human self? I mean, it's almost laughable. So get out of your human mind. So if you can find things that take your mind off of it when your human mind gets started, stay in your subconscious mind, stay in that rich treasury where your desire is, where you're sending out the highest vibrations for you to manifest anything you can imagine. So I say it's all about getting rid of bad habits, as we talk about, Mikey, and putting in good habits on a daily basis. So I recommend read a page, at least a page every day. You can read more than a page, but especially even listening to the book is very powerful. There was one thing, Mikey, that reminded me. I was doing some reading, as I always am. I'm trying to read or study, and it doesn't matter, Mikey. I could read the same book. There's some books I've read a dozen times, and I look at it again. I'll say, I swear that word or that phrase or that paragraph or that page or chapter wasn't in the book. I mean, it just jumps off the page and just hits you. And it's so powerful. It can move your life forward to have you have a breakthrough or a quantum leap regarding manifesting anything you can imagine. And there was one I was reminded about, Mikey, and our audience has heard me, if they've listened to me for a while, talk about Neville Goddard. He's one of the GOATs, the greatest of all time, regarding self-talk. And that was his specialty. Neville Goddard was self-talk. And these are on our auto-suggestions. These are suggestions from ourselves to ourselves. And one of the best ones he had, Mikey, to remind me of, and I was so thankful whenever the universe popped this up on my feed and presented it to me, and I listened to it. Neville Goddard's I Remember When. And what a powerful approach that is. So you could just be wherever you're at, meditating, thinking. And don't think about meditation, Mikey. I don't want our listeners to think you need to wear you have to buy some kind of like expensive, fancy robe or ornate garments or something and do all kind of things and light incense or whatever to meditate. You can meditate anywhere at any time. Just shut down your mind, open up your body, just allow yourself to be in the moment. And you can think, I am so happy and grateful now that I remember when. So let's say, Mikey, you're in your current residence, and the top thing on you is that you want to manifest a new residence, your dream home. And you can be in your physical self right now, I am so happy, grateful now that I remember when I had my whatever your literally is your current residence, but now you start thinking about it as your former residence, and you're in your new residence, and you're just thinking, I'm in my new residence, I'm out sitting out back by the pool, or I'm in the kitchen, or I'm on the front porch, and you're visualizing there that you're there with all of your emotions involved, sight, smell, hearing, taste, touch, everything. And you're sitting on that front porch in your new dream home, and you're just thinking, I'm Stephen Griffin now. I remember when I used to live in your former house. Extraordinarily powerful, Mikey, including that. I remember when. And we've got a couple of other things, Mikey, just to keep the audience in touch. Been having a number of breakthroughs, getting close to a speaker presentation, getting to be able to speak at the Lowe's Business School. They have a speaker series in the fall of every year, September, October, November, and it goes on maybe for a little bit longer. They have 2 speakers that come in every month, and I've got an opportunity potentially coming up with that, so I'll keep the audience in tune with that. I have Professor Ray, who's a wonderful gentleman, who, along with Professor Rebecca White, head up or at the tip of the spear with the University of Tampa Business School. And he's talking with me about coming in and talking with his students in his entrepreneurship class. And then I'm getting very close, Mikey, to being a keynote presenter. There's an international organization called the CEO. It's Collegiate Entrepreneurs Organization, and just had a great talk yesterday with the president of the organization. And this could be potentially up to about 750 people for a keynote address for their annual conference coming up in Florida later this year. So again, we'll keep the audience aware. I've got a great connection in Uganda. That was one country we didn't mention earlier, Mikey, when we were going through things. Hawa, I met a wonderful woman who was born and raised in Sudan, Uganda area, back and forth when she was born and raised there, came to the United States a couple handfuls of years ago, but she has a lot of connections, and we're getting real close to launching something there, Mikey, like we have in Kenya. So stay tuned. Very exciting things. And I'm super excited about the Uganda, Sudan opportunity that we made a ton of progress on. So I thank my wonderful sister, Hawa. If she's listening today, thank you so much for all of your hard work, effort, and dedication, how much love you have for your fellow brothers and sisters. Thank you so much, Hawa.
That's awesome. Congratulations on your new upcoming opportunities. How exciting. And going back to what you said before, I think it's so exciting, or to me, it's so nice to know that the universe already thinks we're perfect. Like we have to change, but the universe already knows that we're our perfect selves. And I love that. And then also, what you said about Godard, I think that what you have to do, your reality, like the universe will manifest what you desire if you've already pictured that in your mind. I think that he said something like, our thoughts and beliefs shape our lives. And that's why it's so important to stay away from what you call your stinking thinking. I believe it's negativity is around us. And if we listen to it, we're never going to manifest anything that we desire. It's just not going to happen. And Papi wants to provide us with positive messages every week. And we send a weekly email with 2 concepts to live by to everyone on our mailing list. Remember that repetition is your key to manifesting. And what concepts would you like to share with us today, Papi?
Yeah, Mike, I'm taking a look at the ones that have gone out since our last show, and there was a couple we didn't get a chance to, but in the previous shows, because we're sending out again 2 per week, 2 concepts to live by. And these concepts to live by, Mikey, this is all under what I preach, so to speak, or what I teach, that it's all about repetition. If you take a look at, as you just mentioned, Mikey, the negativity, it is your number one job for your conscious mind, which is the top half of that circle. And think of it as a dome or your shield for your subconscious mind. Your number one job is to protect your subconscious mind, your access to all power and all information and all knowledge of all time at all costs. So you want to shut down any negative information that's coming towards you, rejecting, canceling, etc. So you want to be very, very conscious of that. Again, it could be family members. You can have a talk with a parent or two, brothers, sisters, relatives, coworkers. It could be the news that's coming at you, social media, things you're seeing outside. And just do some little litmus test, Mikey, for ourselves. And you're giving yourself your own feedback when you're driving. If someone cuts you off to whatever degree you might think that they're cutting you off while you're driving, what's your reaction to that? How do you react to that? And then just go back and reflect on that later on. If you have a vociferous, highly animated reaction to that, you're not near where you need to be. You're not near where you need to be. If you're being triggered by simple events like that, that is such a negative vibration. As Mikey just said a little bit ago, if you have this negativity, you are never going to manifest anything you can imagine. This is all about the highest vibration possible. And I think a number of you have seen my images before, the one where I have the stick figure and the lines are coming out from very high, medium, low, very low, etc. You have all these potential future pathways coming out of you. Say right out of your midsection of your abdomen coming straight forward. That's your average life going forward. You elevate your vibration a little bit in your frequency. That's a better life, a much better life. Way up top coming out of you is your best life. Your best life, Mikey, is easily as accessible as is your average life. And unfortunately, Mikey, as easily accessible as is your worst life. So it's up to us. We have all power of all time. Everyone here has been given the greatest gift that you ever could be given, and that's creative power. You have this creative power within you to be able to manifest anything you can imagine. So the first one, Mike, in the concepts to live by that I would like to talk about today is, because I get asked an awful lot, Pappy, you have a couple of chapters in your book. One is action, one's efficient action. How much do you have to think? What do you have to do? What's our part in it, et cetera? And as the universe says, Mikey, we have to more than fill our current space. We have to more than fill our current place. So we could be doing a great job visualizing and everything else, Mikey, sitting on the couch, so to speak, watching TV, eating a bag of potato chips, but you can't stay in that position the whole time, just visualizing, but not doing anything. I mean, there literally is action that's part of this. It's part of the co-creation formula that you get to perform. So the one that we had that went out this week, Mikey, was SMIT, SMIT, which is the acronym for 6 most important tasks. So I quantified this, Mikey, as 3 most important tasks, TMIT, to 6 MIT, SMIT, 6 most important tasks, just to give people an idea. Because I was getting people coming to me, Mikey, and I still do. I mean, years and years ago, and I still do to this day. Pappy, I don't know. I'm like, do I have to do like 100 things a day or dozens? When you look at your schedule, you'll typically have 3 most important tasks. When you do that, when you do your evening review and preview. So tonight, when you review your day, and how did I do on my 3, 4, 5, but typically around 3, maybe 4 most important tasks. And these are regarding health, wealth, and happiness, Mikey. This isn't just work or anything. You still do this on a weekend. You're off on Saturday, for example, or Sunday. How did I do today regarding what your 3 most important tasks were? And a maximum typically would be 6. So here I'm just talking about the same concept, but 6 most important tasks. You do your evening review where you review your day, and then you're thinking about your day tomorrow, and you say, what are my most important tasks for tomorrow? And you write them down. I've got a face-to-face presentation or talk or interaction of some type at work. I have a virtual interaction. I have a phone call I get to make or an email. I've got something I have to do. Something that I'm going to do for a family member. Something that I'm doing for my personal health. Something that I'm doing that's very important for me to maintain and enhance and enlarge my relationship with a loved one or with a partner. Whatever these most important tasks are, we're reviewing them every night and we're previewing the next days every night. And the main point that I make, Mikey, to me, it's very exhilarating that we may have to or just get to do 3 or 4 tasks, something in that range, Mikey. Typically a minimum of 3, a maximum of 6, but typically it's closer to 3. And that's all we need to do to be able to manifest anything we can imagine, is to perform those tasks as well as we can. And you can have and live and co-create with universal intelligence and have and live the life of your dreams.
I love that. So the universe gives us the power to choose and create the life that we want and deserve. But what you're saying is it takes more than just manifesting. It takes more than imagination and visualization. You have to actually take action. And that's why, it's so important to have that list of things that you get to do to bring you closer to your goal. And it's so important to make that part of your daily ritual. But with anything that you want to get better at, it does take practice and repetition, and manifesting the law of attraction is no different. And to help us with that, we have a good coach, Pappy. So Pappy, what is your manifest coaching tip for us today?
Yeah, it's real good. Mikey, I'm going to try to tackle one more concept to live by. I'm just going to sneak one more in here. And as you said, Mikey, it's all about good habits. I think about that bowl for our subconscious mind. We're taking out bad habits every day. Take out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, putting in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 good habits. So one thing I do, Mikey, sort of on autopilot is the evening before when I do my review and preview, I like to have alerts. So I like to set my alarm on my cell phone for any meeting that I have. These are my most important tasks for the next day. So the first, independent whether that has to do with health, wealth, happiness, career, work, whatever it is, I set my alarm for a half an hour before each meeting. So that Mikey, with just my regular routine, my regular ritual there rather, gets me aligned with. I'm setting my alarm for 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever it may be, most important tasks the next day. And I'm setting that and I'm thinking about those ahead of time. So it sort of just puts me on autopilot, just automatically with me setting my alarm the night before. So my alarm goes off 30 minutes or more if I need to leave. I adjust it for travel time. But that alarm is going off. I'm like, okay, I got 4 alarms set for next day. I've got 4 most important tasks. I've got 3, I've got 6, whatever it is. So you just start to incorporate this into your ritual. And as we say, Mikey, at the end of the day, for you to be able to manifest anything you can imagine is not going to require any more time or effort on your part. I would argue you could get it to the point from your life that you're living right now, less time and less effort. Once you get your ritual organized and you start to manifest, you start to be in control of manifesting your life. The next one, Mike, is somewhat related to the one we're just talking about, and that's spaced repetition. And repetition is a word that you'll hear me mention so many times because that first 7 years of your life, again, that you lived, you did not have that dome. Your conscious mind was not there on top of the lower half, that bowl, which is your subconscious mind. Again, what I'm referring to, Mikey, is the stick figure I talk about all the time. Just think about drawing a large circle around your head with a horizontal line through the middle. Put a C in the top half of the circle for conscious mind and SC for subconscious mind in the bottom half, that bowl part of the circle. A real small line going down, a much smaller circle for our body below. You can put a B there for your body. A line up on each side for arms and hands, a line down on each side for legs and feet. So our mind is the cumulative effect of 3 elements working together in harmony: our conscious mind with our subconscious mind and our body. Our body is an element of our mind. So our body is an element of our mind. And with our space repetition, Mikey, it's just so important, as I was saying, that conscious mind, that top dome, our body's an instrument of our mind, sorry. That top half was not there. And for the first 7 years of our life, every suggestion that we heard went directly into our subconscious mind, from parents, from aunts, uncles, family members, news, the TV, the radio, anything that we heard anywhere went in there. We could not defend ourselves, so to speak. So even say at age 8, we weren't like fully in control, or 9. Even adults, Mikey, I see grown adults in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s or older, and they're letting very negative information come toward them and into their subconscious mind, and they're not protecting themselves or canceling or rejecting that. So it's extraordinarily important. So spaced repetition is our repetition throughout the day. And the universe, a sweet spot, Mike, for communication would be 3 times a day with the universe. In the morning when we wake up, sometime in the afternoon, and then the evening, and or the most powerful time arguably is right before we're going to sleep. And what are we doing at these times? We talk about in the morning, Mikey, doing our affirmations, writing out our affirmation of the course of the day, 333. We could be journaling gratitude. We could be, some individuals like praying and delivering a message through prayer, doing our affirmations as soon as we wake up in the morning when we're in bed, doing our morning ritual. Then we live our life. We forget about it. Take a little break in the afternoon. Just get away because things start the physical 3D world starts coming at us. We're submerged in it, so to speak. Take a break. You could be doing some affirmations, a little bit of meditation. Mikey, this could be 3 minutes. Even don't ever underestimate how powerful 3 minutes can be. Just giving yourself a 3-minute break in the afternoon, a 5-minute break, 5, 10, 15 minutes. But even just giving yourself, the universe says, Mikey, that when we visualize and we send our message out, that it only takes 20 seconds for that to ring the bell. So you think about, Mikey, we were kids, or we could be adults. So you think about when you're a kid and you go to the carnival and they've got that real big hammer and they've got the metal thing that goes up and the bells at the top. You swing the hammer, you hit it, and it goes up. If you hit it hard enough, it goes up and hits the bell. It hits the bell with the universe and gets you an A+ or get you to a super big teddy bear. 20 seconds. You hold that thought for 20 seconds on what your goal is, what you're visualizing, on what your goal is, and that makes an A plus connection. So just 20 seconds on your thoughts. You could have a few things that you're thinking on. So you don't have to worry about dedicating hours or anything. It could be something 3, 5, 7, 10, maybe even 15 minutes in the afternoon. And you get started off, Mikey, 3 minutes if you start off incorporating this in your afternoon. 3 versus 0 is an enormous, enormous win. So I call that spaced repetition throughout the day, Mikey. What we're doing, we're incorporating our ritual. And once you make it a ritual, Mikey, after a while, it just becomes a good habit and it just happens automatically. You're not thinking about it. I'm not thinking about, oh, I have to set my alarm on my phone for, no, I pick it up. It's an evening. I just go in. These are my most important tasks the next day. And I go ahead and put the alarm in and it just sets. It just starts happening automatically as you build these good, well, I call them great or phenomenal habits.
Awesome. And since I started listening to you and we started talking and stuff like this, like I have been trying to really my self-talk. I want to make it more positive. I think that's so important. Like I want to talk to myself the way I would talk to my best friend. Like I would never put my friend down, so why would I put myself down? So I think it takes practice. Trust me, it's not always easy, but it's something that I'm definitely trying to do. And like you always say, like all it takes is you just get 1% better every day. And pretty soon you're 100% there to where you want to be. Like you said, where you're not even thinking about it, you're just doing it. So thank you for that. Thank you for that reminder, the spaced repetition.
Mikey, if I can just piggyback on that. So just think we talk about the average human being has up to 60,000 thoughts per day. 80% are negative, 90% are recurring. So a lot of recurring negative thoughts over and over. So what you're already accomplishing, Mikey, I can guarantee if you go back to whatever previous point in time, let's just say, just for the sake of the audience, you were having 80 negative thoughts out of every 100. Now that you're conscious of it, you're paying attention, you're auto correcting throughout your day. I'll guarantee at some point in time, you knock that down to 79 negative thoughts out of 100, then 78, 77. I mean, you're well into it. Like, you've got phenomenal momentum going on just now that you know what it is. But that's a great way that I really love how you internalize that and how you made it real for yourself is, hey, wait a second, I'm talking to myself a certain way. I would never talk to anyone else that I love this way. I would never say that to them. I love them. I wouldn't say that. Like, why am I saying and mentioning these debilitating thoughts or negative thoughts or really low vibration thoughts of myself? So under recognizing the challenge, so to speak, Mikey, that's 80% of the battle right there. So congratulations on how well you're doing with that and your progress. You are literally, I've seen it over and over again, getting 1% better every day. So congratulations.
Thank you. That means a lot coming from me, seriously, because it does take an effort on my part. That's just not me internally, but I am trying, and it just proves that anyone can change. This works for everyone. So I appreciate your coaching. And now that we're here, talking about coaching, I know that you like to share your coaching tip with us. And what tip do you have today to the manifest coaching tip?
Yeah, manifest coaching tip, Mikey. And what I had done a while back, when we had adjusted the agenda a little bit, was just focusing literally on sort of action items. So there's knowledge items that help you understand this. And we're on a teaching side. This is more on the coaching side, specific ideas. And one thing that people say, Mike, and I know you heard this, people say to me sometimes, Pappy, with all due respect, I've heard you say that before, or heard you say it a number of times, or Pappy, with all due respect, I think you're repeating yourself a little bit. And as I've said before, Mikey, when anyone hears me repeating anything, that's on purpose. That is directly correlated to how important it is. So this is a topic we talk an awful lot about, Mikey, because it's so just a paramount importance is our waking ritual. We first wake up in the morning. So when I ask anyone, Mikey, do you, once they start to get on this vibration, like a little bit, do you think it's important for you to be successful today? And they'll say, yeah. And do you think it's successful for you to what I'd call win today, for today to be a win? And they'll say, yeah. And I'll say, well, when are you proactively, you know how important this is. When are you like really strategically like, hey, I'm getting after it on winning today? I would get a blank stare most of the time. And when I talk to them and I sort of flesh out some details, they're like, it's sort of like almost like in the afternoon or something, that I'll start, I mean, if you want to win your day, you get to win your morning. That's where you win your day at. If you can only listen to one thing that I say, if you want to win your day, You want to win your morning. And when do we want to start winning our morning, Mikey? We want to start winning it immediately as soon as we wake up. And think about it, Mikey. We're coming out. When we first wake up, people ask me all the time, Pappy, this subconscious mind, if there's one thing you convinced me of, Pappy, is how powerful and how awe-inspiring this is. All knowledge of all time, all power of all time. I have this within me. I have this creative power within me. How do I access it? When am I close to it? You're closest to your subconscious mind, universe subconscious mind, right before you go to sleep at night and right when you wake up in the morning. So, Mikey, let's take this extremely powerful time of the day when you don't want to have your any technology around bothering you or anything. You wake up in peace and quiet. One thing, Mikey, is funny is I'll ask the audience listeners, get rid of your alarm clock. Tell your subconscious mind what time you want to wake up. It'll wake you up at that time, Mikey. Okay, this is all knowledge of all time. Start to have confidence in that and say, subconscious mind, I want to wake up at 5 o'clock tomorrow morning. Wake me up at 5 a.m. If you drop something on the floor, Mikey, or on, let's say you have like a table, an end table next to your bed in the middle of the night and it's pitch dark, completely, absolutely, before you put your hand out and start fumbling around, completely, absolutely trust your subconscious mind. If you completely, absolutely trust your subconscious mind, when you reach out to grab that Kleenex or pen or whatever it is that fell off your bed or is next to your bed in your nightstand or table, whatever it is, you completely trust your subconscious mind. When you reach your hand out, where you reach your hand out, you will grab and you will touch and grab that object every single time. Pitch dark every single time you'll touch and grab that. So when you're that close, your subconscious mind, when you first wake up, we want to maximize this time. So our waking ritual, as I said, you want to extend that. The universe calls that the twilight period when you're first waking up. Some of us, Mikey, some of my fellow brothers and sisters I talk to, Mikey, are very wired in and very in tune right before they go to sleep. Other fellow brothers and sisters I talk to are very wired in and very in tune right after they wake up. So that's why I mentioned all these things. We're all built differently. So just to keep in mind, this is for our fellow brothers and sisters. You've got special superpowers when you first wake up. Extend that twilight time when you first wake up and just think about it. You can start to be envisioning your day, what your most important tasks, some of your most important tasks are. And if you open yourself up, Mikey, the universe will start showing you things. You're in a meeting, they'll show you saying something or you having a document or whatever it is. And you'll say to yourself, your conscious mind will say, boy, I never thought of that. Where'd that come from? The universe is helping you to get an A+ on whatever your most important tasks are for today. So you start off, you're in bed, you start saying your affirmations before you get out of bed. You want to offer gratitude. You want to do your affirmations. I recommend writing it out at least 3 times, applying visualization, etc. Even doing some of your affirmations in the mirror, depends on what's most powerful for you. And in total, Mikey, how much time would this take in the morning to get off to a phenomenal start? It may take 15 minutes, Mike. It may take 5 minutes, but just that 5, 10, 15 minutes to get you off to a start that's like you're getting shot out of a rocket and in the perfect direction, at the perfect trajectory, at the perfect speed. I mean, you can almost make your day infallible to lose if you get off to such a great start. So manifesting coaching tip is win your morning, win your day, establish your ritual upon waking. And then first thing in the morning, before you don't want any contact with any type of technology, cell phones, social media, televisions, anything, you have all power and access to all power and all knowledge of all time at that time, to this genius in society, to this creative power that's within you. And you want to maximize that and get off to the greatest start you can. And oftentimes, Mikey, that momentum that you can develop right after you wake up in the morning, that alone is enough to carry you to a win for your entire day. It could be that powerful.
Oh, that's awesome. And it is so true. The first thing that I used to do in the morning when I would wake up is reach for my phone immediately and just scroll through Facebook, through Instagram, and all it was negative thought, negative thought, negative thought. And everything changed when in the morning I started writing down 3 things that I'm grateful for. It made me I don't even think about my phone until later on in the afternoon. It just starts my day off with like a positive affirmation, 3 things that I'm grateful about. It just makes me more buoyant, more joyful, and just starts my day off on the right foot. And that's so important. And speaking of with joyful and happy, I know that you start your daily affirmations off with, I am so happy and grateful now that, and you have an affirmation you'd like to share with us today?
Yes, Mikey. And that reminds me what you were just mentioning there. I saw some research recently, and don't quote me on this, but the audience will get the general drift of this, Mikey. That adults, and I don't think it was anything really special. You could take like an older age back, but I want to say it was adults, something Mikey like 14 to 24 or 13 to 23, something like that, from the time you're first a teenager into your earlier mid 20s. That, and I know it was females for sure. I think males might have been included in the study, but it's gonna be real close, I'm sure. But it was 40 some percent of them look at their social media before they wake up and go to the bathroom first thing in the morning. So if they wake up 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning for a for a bio break, or right before they wake up in the morning. So before anything else, as you said, Mikey, we've got almost half of the people in certain age demographics, and I'm sure it's a high number for older folks as well, that are engaging with technology before anything else. That's the last thing we want to do. That's your sacred time when you are in control. You've got your full power. You do not want to be getting taken off of your game. As most of us know, we could pick up our phones and go online right now, Mikey, to any social media site or anything. And that first 10, 20, 30 seconds could be enough to throw you off for an entire day. So control what you can control, and you will be able to co-create, manifest the life of your dreams. And as we say, Mikey, with affirmations, we always start them off, I am so happy and grateful now. So when we're writing our affirmations out, our 333, what I do is I write across the top of my tablet, I am so happy and grateful now. And then I'll write my affirmation. I complete that phrase, that sentence one time, a second time, a third time. And every time you write these out, you want to be as invested as possible, visualizing what you're writing out, and bringing in your emotions, bringing in your senses, sight, smell, taste, hearing, touch, as much as you can when you're doing it. Remember, Mikey, what I said, just 20 seconds is enough for a full connection with universal power on your specific goal. Just hold that for 20 seconds, and you've made a full connection, an A+ on what you sent out to the universe. So the affirmation we have today to share, I am so happy and grateful now that I am so happy and grateful now that what I want comes to me through the ways of established trade, industry, and commerce. And this is one of the ones, Mikey, in a sort of recipe I have in the back of my book on everything from start to finish on how we manifest, to try to quantify it for the audience as well as possible, to give them something that they can sort of touch, grab, and hold on to. And my point here, Mikey, is that you as a human being don't need to invent anything. You don't need to create. You don't need to do any work. This is all going to come to you through established trade, industry, and commerce, through the world as it is, through the world as it is. And again, I remind our audience, Mikey, to stay as neutral as possible. Stay neutral to politics, stay neutral to religion, stay neutral to government, stay neutral to politicians, stay neutral when you're driving your car, as I said earlier. Don't let someone who some people may call cutting them off or doing something that you thought was inappropriate throw you into a tizzy, and you're still on a low vibration 30, 45 minutes or longer, even after this thing happened, taking you completely off your game. Never, ever, ever give up your power. So this one to me is very comforting, Mikey. Our audience, our fellow brothers and sisters don't need to worry about establishing, building some new highway, so to speak, going to Congress to get them to change the law in order for them to manifest what they want to manifest. It's going to come through the ways of established trade, industry, and commerce. So just open yourself up. You do your part. The universe is doing the super majority of this work, Mikey. We need to do our part. But to be clear, the universe is doing the super majority of this work for you to be able to co-create with it and manifest anything you can imagine.
Very awesome. So basically, you're telling us we don't have to reinvent the wheel. We already have all the tools that we need in our toolbox. We just have to let the universe in time give us anything we can imagine.
Yeah, some of our
So,
fellow brothers and sisters are spending way too much time worrying about that, Mikey. So that one, I'm trying to assuage those fears and those worries. You do not have to do some kind of crazy heavy lifting. Just do your part. The universe takes care of that all through the normal channels of business and commerce and industry, everything around you. It'll take care of all that.
Fabulous. So thank you. Now it's time for Ask Pappy, our speed manifest dating questions. If you have a question for Pappy, you can submit it by going to the website, pappymindsetcoach.com, and just click on the Ask Pappy link at the top. And today's question is, how do I use affirmation to manifest?
Yes, affirmations, Mike, we were just talking about those a second ago. I am so happy and grateful now. So I am, and when I write it out, Mikey, I write out, of course, the I capital and then capital A, capital M, I am. And we do that, and you'll get better and better at it. And that's your recognition. That's you presenting yourself to the universe, that you realize that you have this perfect spiritual spark inside of you, that you recognize that you have been given the greatest gift on earth, creative power, that you've been given one of the greatest things you can ever be given, and that is free will. And you're recognizing that every time, and you're giving homage to that. I am. You have that power of all time. So I am so happy and grateful. Happy, Mikey's reminding us we want to live our life on a high elevation. The higher our elevation, think of those lines coming out of you, those vibrations coming out of you that create frequencies that connect with all people, places, things, thoughts, concepts, opportunities, careers, money, relationships, love, everything. Everything is connecting with that on the other side of that vibration frequency that comes out of you. So we're constantly reminding myself, I am so happy, and put a smile on your face and like sort of get up on your toes a little bit. You know, I am so happy and grateful now. We're always using gratitude. If I was talking to someone today, Mikey, and they said, Pappy, what's the first thing I can do? The easiest thing I can do that would at least be in a tie for number one is being so powerful to help me manifest the life of my dreams. Gratitude, Mikey. Giving gratitude. And we can give gratitude for everything. I can be extraordinarily grateful that I have this wonderful pen in front of me, and I can write with this pen, and how much this pen helps me to be able to do what I can do. There wasn't that long it wasn't that long ago. It wasn't ancient history when we didn't have pens. We didn't have writing objects. You could just take a look around, and I've got paper to write on, heaven forbid, technology to be able to call a loved one and communicate with them. And I'm thinking, Mikey, I gave gratitude the other day. I was having a challenge when I was on with Miss Pamela. We were working on doing a Zoom, getting ready for a class in Kenya. And it was the preparation we were going through. We're doing a class the following Wednesday, and it wasn't working. So what did I do, Mikey? I got on WhatsApp, and I FaceTimed her on WhatsApp. I mean, we take these things for granted. I mean, she's 7 hours away, time difference, in Kenya on the eastern side of Africa, thousand miles away. I went on WhatsApp. I FaceTimed her, and she and I are talking through the presentation, the agenda. I'm looking at her, making eye contact. So how much we have to be grateful for. So I am so happy and grateful now. And we always say now, Mikey, now that, because there is no past, there is no future. And one of the things, Mikey, even our fellow brothers and sisters that I'm coaching, even it could be like months or even a year or two after, I'll catch them saying things like, when I get a chance to, I will, I'm going to, I want to so bad, I'm going. I mean, it could be very heartfelt and genuine and everything else, Mikey, but anything in the future, the universe does not operate in the future. They may think it's a million years from now. You're not putting anything out specifically. You want to be present, you want to be aware, and you want to be conscious at all time. Present, in the present is where everything happens. So I am so happy and grateful now that, and then we complete our affirmation with what our goal is. And these affirmations, Mike, we could look at those and refer to them as auto suggestions. So the universe says, Mikey, there's nothing more powerful than what comes into our subconscious mind. Remember that bowl that we were talking about for our subconscious mind? What you offer yourself to your subconscious mind, when you're saying, Mikey, earlier, how well you've improved on your self-talk, talking to yourself, we all do. You can tell yourself, you're great all day long, you're going to be great. You tell yourself you stink and you're horrible all day long, you're going to stink and be horrible. I mean, so that's how powerful it is. So these affirmations are auto suggestions. We're saying themselves by ourselves to ourselves. They're auto suggestions. We're putting this out, and we're stating what we want. We're making the declarative statement. We're letting the universe know we're full of confidence and power and everything else Mikey coming out of us, and we're putting it into our subconscious mind. I am so happy and grateful now that I have the greatest new wonderful relationship. I found the greatest partner on earth. I've got the promotion at work. I've got the next home. I'm starting a family and I'm starting to have children, and the house is too small or apartment. Whatever it is, you state that in your affirmation. That is an auto suggestion from yourself to yourself, and there is nothing more powerful in the universe, Mikey, than these affirmations. Some people refer to them, if you're maybe say mantras sometimes. I prefer affirmations, and they're acting as auto suggestions from ourselves to ourselves. And then the next question, Mikey, we had lined up for today was related to that. Are affirmations always positive statements? Yeah. Yes, we always want them to be positive statements. We never would consciously, proactively develop an affirmation that said anything negative. So it just takes a while, Mikey, to our fellow brothers and sisters just really be able to internalize all this power that they have, that you have manifested. What all of us are living right now, is the cumulative effect of your thoughts, feelings, emotions, and actions over the last number of hours, days, weeks, and months. It's not years and years and years, Mikey. The universe says maybe up to around 25% of what we're manifesting, like our life we're living right now, could have came from some type of a little more of extended period, like over a year. And again, it could even be longer than that. But the super majority, Mikey, of our life right now is dictated to us and is a result of what we've manifested the last number of minutes, hours, days, weeks, and months, as in under 12 months. So that's how much power we have, Mikey, to be able to turn our life around. Just think about this. Every one of our fellow brothers and sisters can reinvent their entire life and turn their life around and get started on increase like that hockey stick we talk about, the base of the hockey stick and how it goes up. Make it that hockey stick ramp going up in your life for you to be able to co-create with universal intelligence to manifest anything you can imagine.
Oh, that's great answers. And I've known you for decades now. And one thing, talking about affirmations and gratitude, like I know that you love telling people thank you. Just like two simple words, especially people that aren't expecting it. Whether it's, someone that you meet in a parking lot or somebody at a restaurant, like you love going up to them and saying thank you, and their face just lights up. And just think, if you just take time just to say thank you to yourself, speak positively to yourself, because if it affects somebody else like that, it's going to affect you that way too. So I love that. And
Yeah, Mikey,
you can listen to.
when you say that, Mikey, and I would just remind all of us, because the universe says there's no good deed or no positive action, Mikey, that's too small. There's none. None is too small. There's something that you can do for one person, and you think you're just doing it for one person. But what the universe says, if there is any of our other fellow brothers and sisters, Mikey, anywhere across this planet Earth, any of the 8 billion plus of our fellow brothers and sisters who has that same challenge and is having a problem or challenge with that same struggle, that the help you give that one fellow brother and sister, if these other fellow brothers and sisters, wherever they're at on any continent, are open, will allow that in, that comes in and helps them as well and improves their lives and makes them a better person, can help them get through a difficult time. So anyone, I just tracked down, and I can't remember the one, but it was a look on this gentleman's face, and I can't remember exactly what his career was right now. But what I love doing, Mikey, is giving gratuities to people that never receive gratuities. So, in the United States, if you go into a restaurant, we give a tip or gratuity to our server who serves the food to us, or if you're at a bar, someone that presents you with a drink that you ordered. But I would just suggest our fellow brothers and sisters, Mikey, start to offer gratuities to our fellow brothers and sisters who never receive a gratuity. Every time I can, Mikey, I catch our garbage men out here in the back alleyway behind the office. Sometimes there's one gentleman, sometimes there's two. And I'll give them at least a $20 tip each, at least a $20 gratuity each. And it's not so much about that, but when I give anyone a gratuity, Mikey, I look them exactly dead in the eye and I say, I just want to say thank you and let you know how much I appreciate you. I go through a fast food drive-through window and give the young man or woman who's on the other side of the window. And what means the most, Mikey, the money's just like ancillary to this, It's looking a fellow brothers and sisters directly in the eye and giving a genuine appreciation to them and telling them, thank you, I appreciate you. And then they'll say something. They're typically extraordinarily humble. And you can reiterate, I just want to let you know how much I appreciate you and everyone else who's back in there and all that you do every day. That means the world to our fellow brothers and sisters, Mikey. So none of us ever underestimate that. Push that love out there. Love is the most important. If you want to say, why are we here? What did we come here for? What's the universe about? Love is the most important word, definition, factor, environment, manifestation, reason we're here, how the universe was created. And it's up to us to share this love with our fellow brothers and sisters and to make this a better place and to enhance everyone while we're here, to help every one of our fellow brothers and sisters as much as we can. So the quote that we took, you took the one from the book, Mikey, today. I see chapter 12. So thank you so much. In our paperback version, you said chapter 12, page 73. So my quote from Manifest, and if you can imagine, from chapter 12 is, you must get out of your current comfort zone in order to succeed. No one has ever had an improvement, breakthrough, quantum leap, or ever manifested their goal while gliding through life and languishing in their comfort zone. A burning desire and emotions are the yeast that raise the dough. So, Mikey, most people are stuck in their comfort zone, and it's really very misleading because human beings will say, hey, I feel really soft and cushy and happy in this comfort zone, but it is the worst place you possibly can be. If you would say, Pappy, why do we come to Earth? What is our number one orders, directives, challenges, goals, whatever it may be? It is for all of us, Mikey, individually and collectively, to further express, expand, increase, and grow. This is all directly under the law of increase from the universe. This universe, since its formation, when it first started and went out all 360 degrees with all the spiritual sparks that were let loose and created planets and galaxies and universes and water and mountains and every and all things green, it's all about expression, expressing, expanding, increasing, and grow. And we're never going to express and expand and increase and grow, Mikey, if we stay in our comfort zone. It's just so counterintuitive. It would be like literally like the saying, a fish out of water. This fish is at its happiest and most natural environment in the water. That's where in our natural, happiest environment are to be expressing, expanding, increasing, and growing. And this could be, Mikey, as I said, health, wealth, happiness, love, relationships, career, family, whatever it is, and those categories that are most important. We're here to express, expand, increase, and grow, and focus, Mikey, on helping our fellow brothers and sisters in need, helping those among us who need the most help, and even our fellow brothers and sisters, even if they seem like they're in a good place in life, they could be going through a major challenge that you can help them with. So we're here to help our fellow brothers and sisters, to elevate them and help them to live their best life possible as well.
Thank you. I love getting the time to read one of the quotes at the beginning of each chapter. That just starts my day off on a positive note. And also, I just want to mention, like, I love the examples that you use too. Like, I love how you can make these concepts seem so real. Like last time we talked, it was, running on the field with towards your goal line. And today it's like the yeast making the dough rise, or you use the downhill skiing example, or the hockey stick. These are all things that, we can understand, that especially if it's new to some of us. So I appreciate you doing that. And if you're new to pappymindsetcoach.com or Pappy Mindset Coach, be sure to sign up on pappymindsetcoach.com to receive Pappy's free educational emails and get access to upcoming live events conducted by Pappy to help you manifest the health, wealth, and happiness of your dreams. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Namaste to everyone. Thank you. That's a wrap for this episode of Manifest Anything You Can Imagine podcast. Keep those dreams big and your mindset unstoppable. Take one step today toward the life you're manifesting, because you can create anything you imagine. If you can think it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. Visit pappymindsetcoach.com for more resources and follow us at Pappy Mindset Coach on social platforms for daily inspiration. If you love this episode, share it with someone ready to transform their life. Until next time, stay focused, stay positive, and keep on manifesting your best life. See you soon.